was reminded of Goethe's version, knowing is not enough, we must apply. So this second talk on in this instruction course, I'll be focusing about what we are going to do with that knowledge and how we are going to help our patient get appropriate spectacles, and if there are any trouble, how we are going to troubleshoot it. And this one topic which is not taught in our medical curriculum. So the moment we finish, we've been running this instruction course for the last 1 decade, to be precise. This is the 10th year running. It started off in Bhopal, and we've been getting very good responses. And even today, it's heartening to see the last session, the last program of the conference. Thank you so much for attending this program. So people keep on asking me whether to add opticals now when we start the practice, or after complete my setting up and everything, see how the response is and then add. My answer is yes. If you have a patient demand and can deliver a higher quality service than already available in the market, please go ahead and start. Many practices are not realizing the full potential of their existing service lines. So they think that it's a distraction, and there is a growing trend now to outsource the optical as well as other ancillary services to third-party promoters. My motto in life and business has always been, know what you do and do what you know. If you don't know, better not to venture into it. But always you can learn. We have learned so much in medicine, right from anatomy to in ophthalmic surgery and medicine. If you have learned that in so many years, you can learn this also. You can learn refractive surgery after you complete your post-graduation. And there are new modification, new clinics coming up, new specialties coming up. Like I went to a specialty clinic elsewhere and found that there is that new dry eye and allergy testing clinic. So that has become a big hit in that area. And so basically, if you are willing to learn continuously, sky is the limit. And once you master that, you can always integrate a better optometric retail outlet in your clinic. The size of your organization is not important. People keep on asking me, I'm a one-man show, one-room clinic. How do we integrate this? The size of your bank account is very, very important. We all know that. So if you decide, or if you already have a optical unit, this question is for you. Is your eye care practice growing? A bit tricky question, because that entails so many other things. Many of you will think that to answer this question, we need to define how we want to measure growth. So more revenue, that's what we have been taught, like more revenue, more profit, more patients. So we are trained or tutored to become a hamster which runs in a wheel. So growth can be measured by any number of metrics. So practice net income can increase by seeing more patients per day, selling more products or services to each patient, raising your fees, avoiding costly error. There are people who cost cut and reduce expenses. So there are so many ways of making your profit grow. The business perspective of optical outlet is the percentage of the population that needs vision correction keeps growing. In spite of refractive error being here for more than a decade, longer life expectancy means more people for vision correction. An increase in computer-related activities, including your smartphone users, means you have a lot of work to do. So with this background, adding ancillary, particularly optical unit, will boost your bottom lines. And we also need to understand people mentality. The same people who complain about giving you 200 rupees fees will not give a second thought about buying a 20,000 gold frame. So that is the situation. So what is the potential of this ancillary services? Refractive errors, 25% myopic, 24% presbyopic, and plus there are 11 other refractive errors. So almost 60% of the world population sometime or other would need optical services. And in India, the major cause of impaired vision you all know is refractive error. And this is a review article in one of the optometric magazines in correctable visual impairment in older people, and it's a major unmet need across all ages. Irrespective, people always think that the younger population is going for LASIK surgery and higher end surgeries. Where do we catch them? Where they also need this kind of services. So these are the opportunities for the ophthalmic practitioners: spectacle dispensing, contact lenses, sunglasses, pharmacy and laboratory. We will be discussing more about the spectacle dispensing part. So seizing the opportunity, there are other areas of interest: refractive surgery, then protective eyewear, low vision aids, and all this have market potential for huge influx of new consumers. So this is the optical industry for you, whatever available now in India, and these are the leading players. So you are going to compete with all these four of them. Growth, that's here to stay, and according to this magazine, 53% of doctors say the sales were up in 2014 from 2013. That means you have a huge potential here. And this is the overview of Indian eyewear market. Contact lens a whopping 700 crores, and overall the market size is 43,000 crores for the optical. So what does your say here? Where will we play in the value chain? Manufacturing is not our forte. We all belong to a select group of professionals of ophthalmology, and you can tie up with reputed lens brands and labs, but they will take their pound of flesh. So you will be left out with only 20 to 25%. That is generally the market thing, but they also bring in a lot of other problems to you. And what you can focus upon is this area called retail service. You can focus on strength and high margin areas, particularly related to retail and service marketing. So what do our patient thinks if you have an outlet? They don't view eyeglasses as trivial. They think that they are valuable medical devices and offer practical solution to their vision problems, and they also happen to have a fashion component, which Dr. Andrews highlighted. So having convinced about this proposition, how to make your own outlet. Setting up a dispensing unit, so you need to know about display, the inventory management, fitting and servicing, and also the standard of services. So these are the basic resources involved. The initial cost, that's basically about the infrastructure space, particularly furniture, equipments, and the inventory, that is the opticals, frames and lenses, and then overheads initially. And there are indirect recurrent costs like rent, electricity, stationery, salary, machinery maintenance, and the direct costs are basically about the frames and lenses and accessories we use. So these 3P you have to be aware before planning. Better to hire a professional consultant. Have a good design is very important. Presentation of your products is very, very important. And your outlet has to have a pleasant atmosphere for people to shop in a pleasant way. 3 important factors for the success of optical dispensary is location. So a professionally designed dispensing unit, when where it is located, is very, very important. It has to be in the main area of your practice. It makes sense to combine your reception area and dispensing areas. When patient enter and exit, they have to go through that, like what we do in our trade areas when we go to our lunch sessions. So frame displays, there are very many options now. There are very good ready-made display things available. These are standalone display areas, slat wall or rotating or countertop models. Wall mount displays are available, and this is for certain select sunglasses. So basic issue is there has to be good lighting and good contrast to view the frames, and you need to have some sample of lenses and those with coatings, because people have to see and feel the product before giving the order. Place pamphlets about their lenses and frames in the reception area so that patient can educate themselves, and you can also train your employees to know about the products. The aesthetic sense should reflect your general decor. So if you have a separate unit in your hospital, it should match up according to the decor of your hospital services. It should be functional, spacious, and very good lighting. The whole industry is about seeing and visualizing, so lighting is very, very important, and don't do cost cutting on this lighting areas. Designing very, very important because that gives the emotional aspect to the servicing part. Signage and shelving to gaze holders and mirrors makes a big role, and the cabinet should be attractive and functional. Correct lighting, I already told you, it's very, very important for optimal viewing, and it should be shadowless so that there is no glare also. So the dispensing tables are the center of attraction. The optician and staff must feel most comfortable. Ideal to have individual dispensing tables, and the table should contain measuring and adjusting tools. Must be clean, neat and efficient, and the first glance should communicate your style and fashion before they decide about their fashion and style. Good designing and maximum storage areas, very important. As you keep on adding, you will have a lot of other things to store, the number of frames as well as the boxes and other accessories. So better to have good storage areas. And management, this is probably one reason why most of the doctors are not interested in adding this optical unit to their practice, and that's the reason why they outsource it. And so basically the vendors management and frame board needs at only 5% of your time, and if you have a very good manager, he will take care of even that 5%. Better to limit your vendors to 5 to 10, build a strong relationship with them, negotiate good terms and prices for a long term, for 1 year or 3 years, so that you can get fast moving frames easily from them. And how to get the best deal? If you have 3 or 4 practitioners in one area, better to go for this buying groups. When you buy a large quantity, you can have a good deal and best price if you directly get from the manufacturer. So more than 150 frames, you can even brand your own, put your own logo and brand name, and that becomes your USP. Keep your units bottom line, that is a profit from looking like a roller coaster. There should be a system in place for inventory control and computerizing. There are so many software available in the market. Very good softwares are available around 15 to 20,000. So that is not a big deal nowadays. And you need to teach your staff about the management aspect. And if your practice have several locations, you can manage under one program so that your inventory control is well under your control. And implementing a reorder, so there will be a lot of frame loss initially, but over a period of time you tend to learn, you will stabilize the initial investment, and you also know what to buy and what not to buy, and that will provide an accurate cost of goods percentage. So how much to capture? Because suppose you see 100 patients per month, ideally in a well-run optical outlet you will be able to capture only up to 60 to 75. 50% is the optimum level, and if you are capturing more than 75, your average benchmark is very, very high. You can pat on your back. So the total product line that is offered for sale, a proper mix should be there. So you should not be offering only sunglasses, and if you are practice, and better to have this ABC analysis, and this is the benchmark for profit in optical dispensing. Ideally, if you have an on-site lab, 40% on the cost of goods, that means 40% product. And if you have finishing and surfacing lab, the on-site finishing, when you have this attached finishing and surfacing with your clinic, 30% is the basic norm. And human resources, this is very, very important area of optical management. Counseling and salesmanship, very, very important. You have to train your human resources for counseling about the optical products as well as the salesmanship. And if you have a fitting unit, you need to train them for technical skill, and also minor technical work has to be taught to your people. So they have to be taught about order taking. So basically this is a business. You have to train your people to do that. They have to have the product knowledge and how to have a good relation, because this involves a lot of vendors, particularly of fitting people and opticians, and better to have a good management system with them, relationship, and manage your inventory. That's very, very important to reduce the loss. Understanding the latest trend and fashion, like what Dr. Andrews told us, that has to be taught to your people. and certain techniques about small fitting defect, all those things have to be taught. So what are the hurdles a doctor faces while opening or operating a dispensing unit? Time. So when you delegate your responsibility to a better person, there are always you can find out better person than you, more knowledgeable and as well as involved in this area of operations. Your manager can really save a lot of time to you. Account, yes, it is a pain, but you have a good accounting software and maybe weekly 1 hour, that will be enough. Sometime the only way to grow is to spend less time with patients. So if you are spending 9 hours with your patient, at least delegate 1 hour to your optical unit, because that 1 hour will be far more lucrative than your 9 hours of patient's time. It's also very satisfying because most of the time you will not be dealing directly, but you are reaping the rewards. It's better to start early, right from the beginning, day one of your practice, and you have to have good control of your security, because some of the products now are highly priced, like what Dr. Andrews told, around 20 to 50,000 rupees. Even one product loss can really hamper your progress. What is your role basically? So you need to give confidence to the practice and commitment to change. You have to provide leadership, planning and investment, and shifting from a surgical disease mindset to a concept of total eye care. So this is what patient feels. 40% of people base their purchase decision on doctor's recommendation. You can sell from your own chair. You need not go to the opticals, but you can sell from your chair, and that increases by 40% if there is a role by you. These are pieces of marketing. I think most of you will be aware. A planning strategy is very important. A good product is also important. That should be optimally priced, and you need to promote it through your staff or yourself. And positioning in marketplace also very important. So first marketing question is basically dependent on quality, pricing and fast service. This is very important in optical practice, fast service, because patient will be handicapped without their glasses. And you also have to decide about who is your customer before deciding about buying the inventory. Suppose you have a large pediatric practice, better to have more pediatric frames. And if you have a post-operative practice, better to have a good progressive range of frames. So all these are key segmentation questions, and this you should have to repeat yourself every year. Am I doing good in my business? What is my mission and purpose of running this unit in my practice? So if you know this, and if you can forward your mission and purpose, explain your mission and purpose to your staff, there will be an encouraging response. Single most important marketing activity is selecting the right product. So select your right vendor. These are some of the product attributes. I think Dr. Andrews have covered enough. And this is where you see the most growth potential in optical business now. Spectacle lenses 30%, frames 25%. There was a dip in contact lenses because of the refractive surgery market, but now it's again picking up. These are the near future growth areas, and contact lens again. Kids, I've already told you, there is big potential in this because of the school screening programs and number of. You can also sell online if you are net savvy. 25% of eye care professionals now do online selling. This is a surprise to me. And so in the changing retailing landscape, you have a big role, and this is what you need to focus on your essential, not only wearing suits or pleasing stockholders. You have to be fascinated by your ideas. You have to be convinced of your ideas and focus on the essentials. And this is a good book about working hard for yourself, not for others, so that you can win from work hard from the freedom of phrase. Thank you so much for your kind attention, and thank you, Dr. Andrews, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr.